The first time she saw him, he was holding a gun to someone else's head. And the second time, he was holding it for her. Rain poured down the streets of the city like the sky was trying to erase something. Lena ran. Her breath came in short, broken gasps, shoes slipping against wet pavement as she pushed herself forward without looking back. But she knew. They were still behind her. They didn't shout. Didn't rush. They didn't need to. Because people like them never lost their prey. Stop running. The voice came from behind her. Calm. Cold. Too close. Her heart slammed harder. She didn't stop. A sharp sound cracked through the rain. Gunshot. Lena froze. Not because she was hit. Because the bullet didn't touch her. It hit the wall right in front of her, blocking her path. Slowly, she turned. 3 men stood in the alley. Dressed in black. Faces empty. Guns raised. No more running, one of them said. Lena's hands trembled slightly, but she forced herself to stay standing. I don't even know what you want. That's not important. Then what is? A pause. Then. You. Her stomach dropped. Before she could react, a fourth sound cut through the air. Different. Sharper. Another gunshot. The man in front of her dropped instantly. Everything froze. The other 2 turned. But they didn't get the chance. 2 more shots. Clean. Precise. Dead before they hit the ground. Silence fell into the alley. Heavy. Unreal. Lena didn't move. Couldn't. Then. Footsteps. Slow. Controlled. Approaching from behind the bodies. A man stepped into the dim light. Tall. Composed. Dressed like he didn't belong in the chaos around him. His eyes landed on her. And stayed there. Not surprised. Not curious. Like he had been looking for her. You're hard to find, he said. Lena's voice came out barely steady. Who are you? He didn't answer. Instead, he raised the gun. Her breath stopped. But he didn't aim at her. He stepped closer. Close enough that she could see every detail. Every scar. Every shadow in his eyes. Then, he lowered the gun slightly. You don't remember me, he said. A chill ran through her. No, she whispered. A small pause. Good, he replied. Before she could react. His hand closed around her wrist. Firm. Controlled. Impossible to break. Because if you did, he said quietly, you wouldn't have run. Her heart slammed. What do you want from me? She asked. He looked down at her. And for the first time, there was something dangerous in his gaze. Everything, he said. Silence. Then, he pulled her closer. And whispered. You belong to me. The words hit harder than the gunshots. Lena tried to pull away. But his grip tightened just enough to stop her. I'm not going anywhere with you, she said. A faint smile appeared on his lips. That's not your decision. Before she could react. Headlights flashed at the end of the alley. Black cars. Multiple. Doors opened. Men stepped out. Armed. Organized. Her stomach dropped. More of them. The man didn't turn. Didn't rush. Didn't even look concerned. They found you faster than I expected, he said calmly. Who are they? Lena whispered. A pause. Then. The reason you ran. Her breath caught. And you? She asked. Now. He smiled. I'm the reason you survive. Gunfire exploded. The alley erupted into chaos. He moved instantly, pulling her down, shielding her, returning fire with deadly precision. Lena couldn't think, couldn't move, could only watch. As the man who just claimed her started a war for her. "Stay behind me," he ordered. "I didn't agree to this. You don't need to." Another shot. Another body dropped. Her heart pounded violently. "Why are they chasing me?" she shouted. He didn't answer immediately. Then, between gunshots. "Because you're not who you think you are." Everything stopped. Just for a second. And in that second, one of the attackers raised his weapon. Aimed. Not at him. At her. Lena saw it. Too late. Before she could react, the man stepped in front of her. Gun raised. And fired. The attacker dropped. But the man didn't move. Didn't lower the gun. He stayed there. Between her and death. Then, slowly, he looked back at her and said, "This isn't over." A pause. "They'll keep coming." Her voice trembled slightly. "Why?" He held her gaze. And this time, there was no hesitation. "Because you're worth killing for." Silence. Cold. Heavy. Then, he pulled her closer. And whispered, "Or worth dying for." The gunfire didn't stop immediately. It faded. Slowly. Like a storm pulling back, but not gone. Lena's ears rang, her body still pressed behind him, her hands gripping his coat without realizing it. The smell of gunpowder hung thick in the air. Rain mixed with blood on the ground. The men who had chased her were gone. All of them. "Is it over?" she asked. Her voice felt small compared to everything around her. "No," he said. Not reassuring. Not gentle. Just true. He turned slightly, scanning the alley once more before lowering his weapon. Calm. Controlled. Like none of this had cost him anything. Like this was normal. It wasn't. Not for her. "You're hurt?" he asked. Lena blinked. "What?" "You're bleeding." She looked down. Her arm. A thin line of red cutting across her skin. She hadn't even felt it. "It's nothing," she said quickly. He didn't respond. Just stepped closer. Too close. His hand lifted her wrist. Firm. Careful. She should have pulled away. But she didn't. His touch wasn't soft. But it wasn't rough either. It was controlled. "You didn't flinch," he said. "What?" "When you got hit." Lena frowned. "I didn't notice." A pause. His eyes darkened slightly. "That's a problem." Her heart skipped. "Why?" But he didn't answer. Instead, he released her wrist. "We're leaving," he said. "I'm not going anywhere with you." "Yes, you are. I don't even know your name." A small pause. Then, "Adrian." The name settled between them. Heavy. "And you?" he asked. "Lena." He nodded once. "I know." Her breath caught. "What does that mean?" "It means," he said calmly, "this isn't random." Before she could respond, the black cars pulled closer. Doors opened. Men stepped out. Not like the ones before. More organized. More disciplined. They didn't raise weapons. They lowered them. "Boss," one of them said. Lena froze. "Boss." Her gaze snapped back to Adrian. A long pause. Then I let you go. Her breath caught. And they take you. Silence. That wasn't a threat. That was reality. Another pause. Then a new voice cut through the room. Well, this is unexpected. Lena turned. A woman stood at the top of the stairs. Elegant. Confident. Dangerous. Her eyes moved slowly over Lena. Assessing. Judging. Then she smiled. Cold. You replaced me quickly, she said. Lena frowned. What? The woman stepped down slowly. Adrian, she continued, you always did move fast when something valuable appeared. Lena's stomach tightened. Who is she? Lena asked. A pause. Then Adrian answered. My past. The woman smiled wider. And maybe, she added softly. Her future problem. Silence. And just like that, everything got more dangerous. The silence after that sentence didn't last long. It broke. The moment the woman reached the last step. She didn't rush. Didn't need to. Every movement was slow, deliberate, like she already owned the space she was walking into. Valeria, Adrian said. Just her name. No emotion. But Lena felt something shift. So this was her. Valeria's gaze never left Lena. You didn't tell me you were bringing someone new into the house, she said lightly. I don't need to. Of course not, Valeria replied, her smile still in place. You never did like explaining your decisions. Lena looked between them. Something here wasn't finished. She's staying? Valeria asked. Yes. A pause. And you married her already, she added. No. Valeria's eyes flickered. Just slightly. Then this should be interesting. Lena stepped forward before she could stop herself. I'm not staying. This is temporary. Valeria's smile shifted. Sharper. They always say that at the beginning. I'm not, they. No, Valeria said softly. You're not. Something in her tone wasn't friendly. Adrian cut in. Enough. Valeria didn't argue. But she didn't leave either. Instead, she leaned lightly against the railing. Watching. Always watching. Come, Adrian said to Lena. She hesitated. Then followed. Not because she trusted him. But because she didn't have another option. The room he brought her to was quieter. More controlled. A large table. Documents already prepared. Lena stopped the moment she saw them. What is this? You said you wanted a choice, Adrian replied. This is it. Her chest tightened. A contract? Yes. Marriage contract. The words felt heavier now. More real. Lena stepped closer slowly, her eyes scanning the pages. This isn't a marriage, she said. This is a transaction. Yes. At least he didn't pretend. Her eyes moved quickly across the lines. Terms. Conditions. Restrictions. You control where I live. Yes. Who I see. Yes. What I say. A pause. Only when it matters. She let out a small, humorless breath. And what do I get? Another pause. Then. My protection. Silence. That's it? She asked. It's everything. She looked up at him. And if I don't sign? A beat. You leave. And die. Yes. No hesitation. No softness. Just truth. Lena stared at the contract. At the life it represented. At the cage it would become. Then. She looked back at him. Why me? She asked again. This time. He answered differently. Because you're not just someone they want. A pause. You're something they need. Her breath slowed. And you? He held her gaze. I don't need you. A beat. I'm choosing you. That was worse. Because that meant everything here was intentional. Lena's fingers touched the pen. Just slightly. Before she could decide. The door opened. Without knocking. Valeria. Of course. You're really doing this? She asked, stepping inside. Yes. Valeria's eyes moved to the contract. Then to Lena. Do you even understand what you're signing? She asked. Lena didn't answer. So Valeria continued. This isn't protection, she said. It's ownership. Adrian didn't react. That's enough, he said. No, Valeria replied. She deserves to know. Silence. Lena looked at her. Then tell me, she said. Valeria stepped closer. He doesn't do this for free, she said quietly. A pause. Everything he gives, he takes back. Lena's grip on the pen tightened slightly. In what way? She asked. Valeria's eyes flicked briefly to Adrian. Then back. In every way that matters. Silence. That wasn't just a warning. That was experience. Why are you telling me this? Lena asked. A faint smile. Because I want to see what you choose, Valeria said. A beat. And how long you last. The room went quiet again. Lena looked at the contract. At Adrian. At Valeria. Two sides. Two truths. One choice. Then. Without another word. She signed. The sound of the pen against paper felt louder than it should have. Final. Irreversible. Adrian watched her. Carefully. Then. Took the contract. And signed it himself. Done, he said. Just like that. Lena exhaled slowly. What happens now? She asked. A pause. Then. Adrian stepped closer. Close enough that she couldn't step back. You stay, he said. A beat. You learn. Another beat. And you survive. His voice dropped slightly. Because now, he added. You're mine. Silence. Behind them. Valeria watched. Her expression unreadable. But her eyes. Cold. And calculating. Because this. Was only the beginning. The contract changed everything. But not in the way Lena expected. No celebration. No ceremony. No announcement. Just silence. Routine. Control. The next morning didn't feel like the start of a marriage. It felt like the beginning of training. You're late. Lena stopped at the doorway. What? Adrian didn't look up from the tablet in his hand. You were supposed to be downstairs 10 minutes ago. I didn't know I had a schedule. Now you do. She exhaled slowly, stepping inside. And what exactly am I being scheduled for? He finally looked at her. Survival. That word again. I already survived, she said. No, he replied calmly. You got lucky. Silence. That annoyed her more than it should have. So what now? She asked. He set the tablet down. You learn how this world works. I didn't ask to be part of it. But you are. No arguing that. Another pause. Then. Follow me. She hesitated. Then did. The lower level of the mansion felt different. Testing what? A pause. Then. You. That hit harder than the gunshots. They reached the main hall. Chaos. Broken glass. Guards returning fire. Shadows moving outside. Adrian didn't hesitate. He stepped forward. Pulled the trigger. 1, 2, 3. Every shot. A target down. Lena stayed behind him. Just like he said. But her eyes moved. Tracking. Watching. Understanding. They're coming from the left, she said suddenly. Adrian didn't question it. He turned. Fired. And a man dropped exactly where she pointed. Silence. Just for a second. Then chaos again. Adrian glanced back at her. Brief. Sharp. How did you know that? He asked. Lena didn't answer. Because she didn't know. She just felt it. Another wave of attackers moved in. Closer now. More aggressive. They're not testing anymore, Lena said. No, Adrian replied. They're escalating. Gunfire exploded again. Louder. Closer. And this time. One of them got inside. Right behind her. Lena didn't see him. But she felt something. A shift. She turned. Just as he raised the gun. Time slowed. Everything narrowed. Focus. Without thinking. She moved. Grabbed his arm. Twisted. The gun fired. But not at her. At him. He dropped instantly. Silence. Lena froze. Her breath caught. What did I just do? Adrian stared at her. Not surprised. Not shocked. Confirmed. Then. He said quietly. They're not here to test you anymore. A pause. They're here to take you. The word settled. Heavy. And this time. Lena understood. She wasn't just in danger. She was the reason for it. The body hit the floor. Hard. Still. Lena didn't move. Her hand was still in the same position, fingers slightly curled like she hadn't realized she'd already let go of the man. Silence spread around her. Not complete. Gunfire still echoed in the distance. But for a moment. Everything else faded. You disarmed him, Adrian said. His voice wasn't loud. But it cut through everything. Lena blinked. What? You reacted before he fired, he continued. I didn't think, she said quietly. I know. That was the problem. Another wave of gunfire snapped the moment apart. Adrian moved again instantly, pulling her slightly behind him as he returned fire without hesitation. Stay focused, he said. I am, she replied. But her voice felt different now. Steadier. More controlled. Like something inside her had already shifted. Minutes later. It was over. Again. Too fast. Too clean. But this time. Lena understood something she didn't before. This wasn't ending. It was building. The mansion returned to silence. Too quickly. Guards cleaned the damage. Bodies removed. No questions asked. Like nothing had happened. Lena stood by the window, arms crossed, staring out at the empty driveway. You're processing it, a voice said behind her. She didn't turn. Valeria. Is that what you call it? Lena replied. I call it the moment before you either break, Valeria said. A pause. Or become useful. Lena turned slowly. I'm not here to be useful to you. Valeria smiled faintly. No, she said. You're here because he wants you to be. That hit. Lena's eyes narrowed. What do you want? Valeria stepped closer. Clarity, she said. About what? About how long you'll last. Silence. Lena didn't back down. I'm still here. For now, Valeria replied softly. A pause. Then. You don't understand him yet, she added. Lena's jaw tightened slightly. I understand enough. No, Valeria said. You understand what he lets you see. That felt true. And Lena hated it. What does that mean? She asked. Valeria studied her for a moment. Then. He wasn't always like this. A beat. That controlled? Lena asked. That human, Valeria corrected. Silence. Lena frowned. So what changed him? Valeria's expression shifted. Just slightly. Someone he trusted, she said. A pause. Someone he chose. Lena felt something tighten in her chest. And, she asked. Valeria's gaze held hers. They betrayed him. The word landed heavy. And after that, she continued. He stopped believing in choices. Silence. Lena looked away for a second. Then back. And now? She asked. Valeria's lips curved slightly. Now he's making one again. Lena didn't respond. Because she knew. Valeria wasn't just talking. She was warning her. Later that night. Lena found him alone. Standing in the dark. Looking out over the city. He didn't turn when she entered. You shouldn't be awake, he said. I couldn't sleep. A pause. Because of today? He asked. No, she said quietly. Because of you. That made him turn. Slowly. What about me? He asked. Lena stepped closer. She said you weren't always like this. A flicker. Gone almost instantly. You're listening to the wrong person. Am I? Silence. She said someone betrayed you. His expression hardened. That's not your concern. It is if I'm standing where they stood. That hit. Hard. A long pause followed. Then. You're not them, he said. How do you know? Because I wouldn't have brought you here if you were. Not comforting. But honest. Lena studied him. You don't trust easily, she said. No. Then why trust me? A pause. Longer this time. Then. I don't. Silence. That should have ended the conversation. But it didn't. Then why choose me? She asked. He stepped closer. Close enough that the distance between them disappeared. Because you're not like anyone else I've met, he said quietly. Her breath caught. That's not a good thing, she replied. No, he agreed. A beat. But it's the only thing keeping you alive. Their eyes locked. The air shifted. Something unspoken. Dangerous. Before either of them could move. A message came through his phone. Short. Sharp. He read it once. Then again. And for the first time. Lena saw something she hadn't before. Not anger. Not control. Concern. What is it? She asked. A pause. Then. They found something. Her chest tightened. What? He looked at her. And said. Your past. Silence. And this time. That was more dangerous than any attack. Your past. The words didn't just land. They opened something. Lena's chest tightened. What about it? Adrian didn't answer immediately. That was already a bad sign. Instead, he Don't be afraid. Her head snapped back. What was that? She whispered. Adrian stepped closer. What did you hear? I don't know, she said quickly. Just something. A pause. Then a slow clap echoed behind them. Both turned instantly. Valeria, standing in the doorway. Of course. You found it, she said softly. Lena's chest tightened. What are you doing here? Valeria stepped inside. I was curious, she replied. About what? You. Silence. Lena looked between them. You knew about this place, she said. Valeria smiled slightly. Yes. Her stomach dropped. And you didn't tell me? No. Why? Valeria stepped closer. Because I wanted to see if you'd remember on your own. A pause. And you did. That was not comforting. Lena shook her head. I don't understand. What is this place? Valeria's eyes flicked briefly to Adrian. Then back. This, she said, is where you were made. Silence. Lena's breath stopped. Made? Yes. No, she whispered. No, that's not. You weren't just raised, Lena, Valeria continued. A pause. You were changed. Everything tilted. That's not true, Lena said. But her voice was weaker now. Because something inside her was starting to agree. Adrian stepped in. That's enough. But Valeria didn't stop. You think it's a coincidence you react faster than trained men, she said. Lena didn't answer. You think it's normal that you can predict movement before it happens? Silence. You think he chose you randomly? That hit hardest. Lena looked at Adrian. Tell me she's lying, she said. A long pause. Too long. Then. She's not. Everything broke. Just a little. But you don't know everything, he added. Valeria smiled. Oh, I know enough. Then. She dropped the final piece. They didn't just change you, she said. A pause. They were building something. Silence. Cold. Heavy. And you, Valeria finished softly, are the result. Lena stepped back. Her breathing uneven now. No. I'm not. But the room. The chair. The voice in her head said otherwise. And this time, she couldn't ignore it. I'm not a result. Lena's voice came out uneven. Not weak. But not steady either. The room felt smaller. Colder. Like the walls were closing in with every second she stayed inside. You don't have to believe it yet, Valeria said softly. A pause. You'll feel it soon. That's enough, Adrian snapped. His tone changed. Sharper. More dangerous than before. Even Valeria paused this time. Lena didn't move. Didn't look away from the chair. I've seen this before, she whispered. Adrian stepped closer. Lena. They told me not to be afraid, she continued. Her voice wasn't fully hers anymore. Lena. I wasn't afraid, she said. A beat. I liked it. Silence. That changed everything. Adrian's expression hardened instantly. Step away from it, he said. Lena didn't respond. Her hand lifted slowly. Toward the chair. Lena. His voice was lower now. Controlled. But urgent. You don't want to touch that. She stopped. Just inches away. Her fingers trembled. But not from fear. From something else. A pull. Like the room was calling her back. I remember more, she whispered. Adrian's jaw tightened. What do you remember? A pause. Voices. Another pause. Commands. Silence. Valeria watched closely now. No smile. No teasing. Just interest. Good, she said quietly. Adrian turned sharply. Don't. You can't stop this, Valeria replied. I can stop you. A beat. Try, she said. Tension snapped tight between them. But Lena was no longer focused on either of them. I wasn't just here, she said. Her voice calmer now. Too calm. I was trained. The word echoed. And this time, no one denied it. I don't remember everything, she continued. A pause. But I remember enough. Adrian stepped closer again. That's why we're leaving. No. The word came instantly. Firm. Final. He froze. What? I'm not leaving, she said. Her eyes lifted to meet his. And something in them had changed. You don't get to decide that, he said. I just did. Silence. Valeria smiled again. Slow. Satisfied. There it is, she murmured. Shut up, Adrian snapped. But she didn't. Because this was what she wanted. Lena stepped away from the chair. But not back toward him. Further into the room. You knew, she said. Adrian didn't respond. You knew what I was, she continued. A pause. And you still brought me in. Another pause. That wasn't protection. Her voice dropped slightly. That was control. Silence. Adrian held her gaze. Yes. No lie. No denial. Just truth. Her chest tightened. Why? She asked. A long pause. Then. Because if I didn't, he said. Someone worse would. That hit. Hard. But that's not the only reason, Lena said. His expression shifted. Just slightly. You're afraid of me, she added. Silence. Valeria's eyes flicked between them. Interested. Am I? Adrian asked calmly. Yes. A beat. Not of what I am now, Lena continued. Another step forward. But what I'll become. The room went still. Because that was true. And they both knew it. Before either could speak. A sound cut through the silence. Soft. A click. All three turned. Too late. Gas flooded the room. Fast. Silent. Lena's eyes widened. What? Her knees weakened instantly. Adrian moved. But even he staggered slightly. Valeria stepped back. Perfectly steady. Unaffected. And that said everything. You, Adrian started. Valeria didn't flinch. I told you, she said calmly. A pause. You can't stop what she is. Lena's vision blurred. Why? She whispered. Valeria looked at her. Not cruel. Not kind. Just certain. Because they're coming, she said. A beat. And I want to see who you really are. Darkness closed in. Fast. The last thing Lena saw was Adrian reaching for her. Too late. Then everything went black. Darkness didn't feel empty. It felt watched. Lena couldn't move. Couldn't open her eyes. But she knew. She wasn't alone. Voices. Low. Distant. You were never meant to leave incomplete. I'm not something you finish, Lena snapped. Hale smiled faintly. You are exactly that. Silence. And once you're fully activated, she added. You'll belong to us. Lena's eyes hardened. No. A beat. I won't. Hale didn't react. Everyone says that at first. A signal was given. Machines around the room powered on. Lights flickered. The chair beneath Lena hummed. Her heart spiked. What are you doing? Waking you up, Hale said. Panic surged. But beneath it. Something else. Recognition. No. Too late. The system activated. Electric pulses surged through her body. Not enough to hurt. Enough to trigger. Memories flooded. Fragments. Voices. Commands. Respond. Adapt. Control. Lena gasped. Her body reacted. Not resisting. Responding. No, stop. But the system didn't stop. Because this was what she was built for. Her eyes snapped open. And this time, they weren't the same. Calm. Focused. Controlled. Director Hale watched closely. Perfect, she whispered. But then, something unexpected happened. Lena smiled. Slow. Dangerous. Not perfect, she said. A pause. Not yours. The system spiked. Lights flickered violently. Screens glitched. Stabilize her, Hale ordered. But it was too late. Because Lena was no longer just reacting. She was taking control. The lights didn't just flicker. They broke. One by one. Screens glitched. Systems lagged. Signals collapsed. Stabilize it, someone shouted. But no one could. Because Lena was no longer just inside the system. She was inside everything. Her breathing slowed. Not forced. Natural. Her eyes scanned the room. Not like a victim. Like something that understood it. Disconnect her. Director Hale ordered. Too late. Lena's head tilted slightly. You shouldn't have turned it on, she said calmly. A beat. It listens to me better than it listens to you. Silence. Hale's expression changed. Just slightly. Sedate her. Men moved in. Fast. Precise. But Lena didn't move. She didn't need to. The lights above them exploded. Darkness. Screams. Confusion. Then. Emergency red lights flickered on. And Lena was gone. Across the city. Adrian stood over a map. Not paper. Not digital. Both. Layers of information. Movement patterns. Hidden routes. Dead zones. They wiped their tracks, one of his men said. They always do. A pause. But not perfectly. Adrian's finger moved across the map. Stopped. Here. The man frowned. That's abandoned. No, Adrian said. A beat. It's hidden. Silence. How do you know? The man asked. Adrian didn't answer immediately. Then. Because I've seen it before. That meant something. Prepare the cars, he ordered. A pause. We're not waiting. Because this time. He wasn't reacting. He was hunting. Back inside the facility. Alarms screamed. Seal the exits. Lock everything down. Find her. But no one knew where to look. Because Lena was moving through the system. Doors opened before she touched them. Cameras shut down before they saw her. Security failed before it reacted. She walked calmly. Like she belonged there. Because part of her did. A guard turned the corner. Saw her. Raised his weapon. Then froze. His gun dropped. What did you do? He whispered. Lena didn't even slow down. I didn't do anything, she said. A pause. I just told the system you weren't a threat. Silence. The guard stepped aside. Without understanding why. Director Hale stood in the control room. Watching everything collapse. This isn't possible, someone said. Hale didn't respond. Her eyes stayed on the screen. Tracking Lena's movement. Perfect. Too perfect. She's not just reacting, Hale said quietly. A pause. She's evolving. Silence. Should we initiate phase 2? Someone asked. A long pause. Then. A new voice answered. No. Everyone froze. Because that voice didn't belong to anyone in the room. The screen flickered. Then. Stabilized. A man appeared. Only partially visible. Shadowed. But his presence filled everything. Director Hale straightened slightly. Sir. That said enough. Lena stopped walking. Not because she had to. Because she felt it. Something different. Stronger. Watching her. You've done well, the man said. His voice was calm. Controlled. Familiar. Too familiar. Lena's breath slowed. Do I know you? She asked. A pause. Then. Yes. That word hit deeper than expected. Her head tilted slightly. Fragments again. A voice. A memory. You're not broken. Her eyes narrowed. You were there, she said slowly. The man didn't deny it. I was. Director Hale stayed silent. Because now. This wasn't her operation anymore. It never had been. What do you want? Lena asked. A pause. Then. You. Same answer. Different weight. Why? She asked. Another pause. Because you're the only one who can complete what we started. Silence. That word again. Complete. I'm not yours, Lena said. A faint smile in the shadow. Not yet. Before she could respond. An explosion shook the building. Violent. Close. The lights flickered again. Hale turned sharply. What was that? Another explosion. Closer. Security screens lit up. Black cars. Armed men. Breaking through the perimeter. Fast. Relentless. Director Hale's expression tightened. He found us. Lena didn't need to ask who. Because she already knew. Another blast. Walls cracked. Gunfire erupted. And this time. It wasn't controlled. It was war. Lena looked at the screen. At the chaos. At him. Coming for her. Her chest tightened. Just slightly. You shouldn't have come, the shadowed man said. A pause. He won't leave alive. Lena didn't answer. Because for the first time. She wasn't sure who he meant. The third explosion shattered the front line. Concrete cracked. Steel bent. Men dropped. And through the smoke. He walked in. Adrian. Not rushing. Not hiding. Walking straight into gunfire like it didn't matter. Take position. The shadowed man smiled faintly. She understands better than you think. Adrian didn't take his eyes off Lena. Come here, he said again. A beat. Now. Something in his voice shifted. Not command. Not control. Something else. Trust. Lena hesitated. Just for a second. And that was enough. The system surged. Lights exploded. Screens shattered. Everything activated at once. Now, the shadowed man said. A signal. Machines roared to life. Don't. Adrian shouted. Too late. Energy surged through the room. Straight to her. Lena gasped. But this time. She didn't fight it. Her eyes closed. Then opened again. And everything went still. Because now, she wasn't just part of the system. She was controlling it. Every screen. Every lock. Every weapon. Every life in that building. Connected. To her. Adrian stared at her. And for the first time. He didn't know what she would choose. Silence didn't fall. It obeyed. Every system in the room. Every light. Every weapon. Every locked door. Waited. For her. Lena didn't move. Didn't speak. But everything around her. Shifted. Controlled. Adrian watched her. Not the machines. Not the enemies. Her. Lena. Her name again. This time. Softer. Real. Her eyes flickered slightly. Just for a second. She looked at him. Then. Back to the system. She's fully connected, Director Hale whispered. A pause. More than we predicted. The shadowed man stepped forward slightly. Of course she is. His voice carried differently now. Clearer. Stronger. Because he wasn't hiding anymore. You built the foundation, he said calmly. A pause. I perfected it. Hale didn't respond. Because she knew. He was right. You don't get to control her, Hale said. I already do. Silence. That tension. Sharp. Cold. Adrian didn't care about either of them. He took a step forward. Lena. This time. She reacted. A slight shift. The lights flickered. The system pulsed. She's listening to you, Hale said. The shadowed man didn't seem worried. She's deciding, he corrected. A pause. And that's even better. Inside her mind. It wasn't noise anymore. It was structure. Clear. Organized. Every system. Every signal. Every connection. Open. She could shut them all down. Or control them. Or destroy them. 1,000 options. At once. And in the middle of it. A voice. You don't need fear. Her breath slowed. That voice again. Closer now. Clearer. You were made for this. Her fingers twitched. The system responded instantly. Screens turned black. Doors locked. Weapons disengaged. Everyone froze. Because now. No one could move. Except her. Adrian tried to step forward. The door behind him slammed shut. Locked. Lena, he said again. Not louder. Stronger. You don't have to do this. Silence. Her head tilted slightly. I already am, she said. Her voice. Different. Calm. Detached. Controlled. No, Adrian replied. A beat. This isn't you. That hit something. Just enough. Her eyes flickered again. But the system tightened. You don't understand, she said. A pause. I can end this. Yes, he said. Another step forward. Even though the room resisted him. But not like this. Silence. The shadowed man watched closely now. Interested. This is who she is, he said. Adrian didn't look at him. No, he replied. A beat. This is what you made her into. A pause. And I'm not letting you finish it. The man smiled faintly. You don't get a choice. Silence. Then. Adrian raised his gun. Not at Lena. At him. I always do. Everything tightened. Because that was the moment. The real choice. Power. Or her. Adrian didn't hesitate. He pulled the trigger. The shot rang out. But it never landed. Because Lena stopped it. Midair. The bullet froze. Right in front of the man. Silence crashed down. Adrian's breath stilled. Lena lowered her hands slowly. And the bullet dropped to the floor. Clink. You can't hurt him, she said quietly. A pause. Not anymore. That changed everything. Adrian stared at her. You're protecting him? No. A beat. I'm protecting what comes after. Silence. The shadowed man smiled. Good, he said. A pause. You're ready. Lena's breathing slowed again. The system pulsed stronger. Deeper. She's choosing, Hale whispered. No, the man said. A beat. She's becoming. Adrian stepped forward again. This time. Closer. Nothing stopped him. Because she let him. Look at me, he said. She didn't. Lena. A pause. Look at me. Slowly. She did. And for a second. She was still there. Not the system. Not the control. Her. You don't belong to them, he said. A beat. You choose. Silence. The system wavered. Just slightly. And that was enough to scare everyone else. Because if she chose him, everything would collapse. The man's voice cut in. Don't. Sharp. Commanding. Lena froze. Because that voice was deeper. Stronger. Older. And suddenly, everything made sense. Her eyes widened. You. A pause. You're the one who started this. The man stepped fully into the light. For the first time. Fully visible. And when she saw his face, everything broke open. Memory. Truth. You're not broken. Her breath stopped. You were there, from the beginning. He smiled. Yes. A pause. I never left. Silence. Cold. Final. And now. The real enemy was no longer hidden. You. The word barely left Lena's lips. But it carried everything. Recognition. Shock. Something deeper than both. You were there, she said again. This time. Not a question. A statement. The man stepped fully into the light. No shadows left to hide in. Older than Adrian. Calmer. Colder. But his eyes were the same ones from her memory. You remember, he said. A faint smile. I was hoping you would. Silence. Everything slowed. The system. The room. The people. All waiting. For her. Lena closed her eyes. For the first time since this started. She felt it all. Not the system. Not the control. Her. Who she was. Who she had been. Who they wanted her to become. And in the middle of it. Him. Adrian. Standing there. Not controlling her. Not forcing her. Just. Waiting. That was new. That was choice. Her eyes opened. And everything changed. Everything was still. Not quiet. Not calm. Controlled. By her. Every lock. Every weapon. Every breath in the room. Waited. Lena opened her eyes. And for the first time. She didn't feel lost. She felt clear. I understand now, she said. Her voice. Steady. Not cold. Not soft. Certain. The man smiled. Good. A step closer. Then you know what you have to do. Silence. Adrian didn't move. Didn't speak. But his eyes stayed on her. Waiting. Not commanding. Waiting. That mattered. More than anything else in that room. Lena looked at him. Just for a second. And everything slowed. The chaos. The system. The war. All of it. Faded. Come with me, Adrian said quietly. No orders. No pressure. Just that. A choice. Her chest tightened. Because for the first time. She actually had one. You can't give her what I can, the man said. His voice cut through the moment. Power. A pause. Control. Another. Purpose. Lena didn't look at him. Because she already knew. He wasn't wrong. You don't need purpose, Adrian said. A beat. You choose it. Silence. That was different. That was dangerous. Because it wasn't control. It was freedom. And she didn't know what to do with that. The system pulsed again. Stronger. Faster. Like it was reacting to her hesitation. Don't fight it, the man said. A pause. Complete it. Her fingers twitched. The lights surged. Doors slammed shut. Weapons activated. Everyone in the room. Locked in place. Except her. And him. Adrian took a step forward. Lena. Her name. Different again. Not asking. Holding. She looked at him. Really looked this time. Not the boss. Not the danger. The man. The one who stood in front of her. Even now. Even like this. You came for me, she said. A pause. Yes. No hesitation. No calculation. Just truth. Why? She asked. Silence. Then. Because you're mine. The words hit. Hard. Not ownership. Not control. Something else. Something deeper. And that was the problem. Because it made her hesitate. Just long enough. For everything to go wrong. A sharp sound cut through the room. Gunfire. Not from Adrian. Not from the guards. From behind. Lena turned. Too late. Director Hale stood there. Gun raised. You hesitated, she said coldly. A pause. That's your flaw. The shot rang out. Straight. At Adrian. Time snapped. Lena didn't think. Didn't choose. She moved. The system surged violently. Every light exploded. Every lock broke. And she stepped in front of him. The bullet hit. Silence. Everything stopped. Adrian's breath caught. Lena. Her body tensed. Then stilled. But she didn't fall. Slowly. She looked down. The wound. Already closing. Healing. Not normal. Not human. The room went silent. Even Hale froze. Impossible, she whispered. Lena lifted her head. And now. Her eyes were different again. Not just controlled. Awake. Fully. You were right, Lena said softly. Everyone watched. Frozen. I'm not finished. A pause. I'm just starting. The system exploded into full power. Every weapon in the room turned. Not at Adrian. Not at her. At everyone else. No, Hale started. Too late. The system obeyed. Chaos erupted. Gunfire everywhere. Screams. Destruction. And in the middle of it, Lena stood still. Untouched. Unstoppable. Adrian grabbed her arm. Lena, stop. She turned to him. And for a second, she was still there. I can't, she said quietly. A beat. If I stop. Her voice dropped. They'll never stop coming. Silence. That was the truth. The final one. The one that mattered. I can end it, she said. A pause. All of it. Adrian's grip tightened. That's not your job. Yes, she said. A beat. It is. Their eyes locked. And in that moment, everything broke. Because they both knew. This wasn't a choice anymore. This was sacrifice. The man stepped back. Watching. Interested. Because now, she had gone beyond him. And that was something even he hadn't planned. The room was no longer a room. It was a battlefield. Smoke. Fire. Metal bending under pressure it wasn't built to handle. And in the center of it, Lena. Everything moved because of her. Every system. Every weapon. Every second. Controlled. Adrian tightened his grip on her arm. Stop this, he said. Not a command. A plea. That was new. Lena looked at him. Really looked. His face. His eyes. The only thing in this chaos. That felt real. I can't, she said quietly. A pause. Not anymore. Her voice wasn't cold. That made it worse. Then I'll take you out of here, Adrian said. He pulled her slightly. But she didn't move. Not because she resisted. Because she chose not to follow. Silence. That small moment said everything. You're letting them win, he said. No, she replied. A beat. I'm ending them. Another explosion shook the structure. Ceiling cracked. Walls split. Time was running out. We leave. Now, Adrian said. No. The word hit harder this time. Final. Irreversible. You don't get to stay and die, he snapped. I'm not dying. Silence. You don't know that. I do. A pause. Because I won't let it happen. Adrian stared at her. And for the first time, he realized something. Concrete cracked. Fire spread through systems that were never meant to fail. And at the center of it, Lena stood alone. No fear. No hesitation. Just clarity. This ends now, she whispered. The system surged. Every connection. Every signal. Every hidden network she could feel. Pulled into her control. Not just the building. Everything. All of it. She could see it. Cities. Systems. Data flowing like blood through something too big to stop. This was what they built her for. And now, she understood. You don't control me, she said softly. A pause. I choose. And then, she let go. Outside, Adrian didn't leave. He couldn't. Men were shouting. Dragging him back. Boss, the structure's going down. Move. Now. But he didn't move. His eyes locked on the building. On her. Still inside. Lena, he said. Too quiet for anyone else to hear. Too late for her to answer. Inside. Everything collapsed. The system overloaded. Power surged beyond control. Lights exploded. Walls gave in. And Lena stood in the middle of it. Eyes closed. Breathing slow. Calm. Because for the first time, she wasn't reacting. She was deciding. End it, she said. And the system obeyed. Everything shut down. At once. No control. No recovery. No future access. Gone. Forever. The explosion came right after. Light. Sound. Nothing. Silence. Days later. The city moved on. Like it always did. But not everything was the same. Because something was missing. Adrian stood in the same place every night. Looking at the skyline. Waiting. For something that wasn't coming back. She's gone, one of his men said quietly. A pause. You don't know that, Adrian replied. But his voice didn't carry the same certainty anymore. Weeks passed. Then. Months. No trace. No signal. Nothing. Until. One night. A screen flickered. Just for a second. In a place no one should have access to. Deep. Hidden. Untouchable. A system that wasn't supposed to exist anymore. And yet. It turned on. By itself. Somewhere. Unknown. Dark. A single light blinked. Then stabilized. A screen came alive. And on it. A line of text appeared. Simple. Cold. Alive. System reboot complete. A pause. Then. Another line. Control restored. Silence. And then. The final message. The one that changed everything. Lena, active. Back in the city. Adrian's phone lit up. Unknown signal. Encrypted. Impossible to trace. He stared at it. For a long second. Then. He answered. Silence. No voice. No sound. Just. A faint breath. On the other end. His chest tightened. Lena. A pause. Then. The line cut. He didn't move. Didn't speak. But this time. There was something new in his eyes. Not control. Not power. Hope. Small. Dangerous. Real. Because she wasn't gone. Not completely. And somewhere, deep inside a system no one could see, she was still there. Watching. Waiting. Becoming something even they couldn't predict.